Sandy Howard and Harold Greenberg's film Death Ship was released in 1980. The screenplay was written by John Robbins. The story was done by Jack Hill and David P. Lewis. The film was produced by Derek Gibson and Harold Greenberg. Directed by Alvin Rakoff, the movie starred George Kennedy, who portrayed Captain Ashland. Also in the film were Richard Crenna, Nick Mancuso, Sally Ann Hose, Kate Reed, and Victoria Burgoyne. The ship's German propaganda seen on board the ship was advised by Andre Genest. The film was shot in more than one location: Quebec City, Dauphin Island in Alabama, and in the Gulf of Mexico. In an interesting side note, the ship we could see Captain Ashland commanding, we actually see at night. We see the bridge, some quarters and hallways, parts of the engine room as well as the ballroom. But we never actually get to see the outside of the ship due to the fact that it's a night shot. However, when we see it rammed by the German ship, we see an explosion on the front of the ship that appears to be done in daylight. This scene, as well as the falling piano, breaking ballroom glass, and engine room flooding, are scenes that were originally from the film The Last Voyage, starring Robert Stack and Dorothy Malone. This movie was released in 1960. That was just an interesting side note that I wanted to share with you about the film. The ship I'm going to focus on is the star of the movie, and I am referring to the nameless German cargo-type ship. The film opens by introducing us to a large, ominous cargo-type vessel. The opening scenes of the movie have a dark, almost dusk-like appearance, making it difficult to see the name of the vessel. Later, when we see the ship in the direct sunlight, we notice that the name of the ship has been covered over. Now, this is just my opinion, but it appears that there are two different ships used in the film for the German ship. We see in the beginning of the film the rear shot of the ship, and it appears to have a blue smokestack. She would also appear to be nicely painted. The white is visible over the black section of the hull. But we later see a ship in the film that has a brownish or rust color on the smokestack, and on the sides of the ship they appear to be a paint peeling and loosened by rust and age. The rectangular cargo cranes also appear white in some scenes, but are totally rusted over in others. The ship herself appears to be a large cargo carrier. Her bridge and deck house are located in the back of the ship near the stern. From her bow all the way back to her wheelhouse, there are cargo hatches that lead to storage areas below deck. She appears to have 3 large cargo cranes and 1 small one at the bow. The ship is black for the most part and heavily rusted. Areas of red paint are visible in some areas above the waterline along her sides. We see her engine room spring to life as she chases down a new target. In the front, she has a single bullnose at the bow, and when her name would be covered over in black. The ship would appear to have 1 smokestack located at the rear of the ship over the boat deck. She also would appear to have 2 visible lifeboats, one located on the port and the other on the starboard side of the ship. We see her raise and drop anchor as well. She also orders full speed ahead on the ship's telegraph, and we hear orders that are given in German. However, there are no subtitles, so we really don't know what's being said. The stern of the ship also appears to have her name covered over with what appears to be a sheet of metal. When Trevor and Nick are tending to the captain on deck after boarding the ship, we see a hydraulic lift wheel that shows the name Brattvag Company Hydraulics in raised lettering. After a quick internet search of the company, I was unable to find anything current. There are sites selling Brattvag motors that were rebuilt and refurbished, but nothing new that I could find. We also see in many scenes the ship's interior and what appear to be port-like closures or covers with slits covering the portholes of the inner doors throughout the ship. This could be to reduce the amount of light that would make the ship appear visible at night, or as a privacy measure, or both. So when doing research of the ship used in a film, I did not get very many results. The movie portrays the ship as a World War II German interrogation ship. I researched German cargo vessels and raiders of the time and came up with ships that were similar, but no exact matches could be found. Ships like the Cormoran, which was a German auxiliary cruiser, was the closest I could find from the time period resembling the ship. So in conclusion, there was very little I could find on a ship or ships used in a filming of Death Ship. Much of the information out there was pretty much unverifiable, and I didn't want to put anything in that I couldn't verify. I have come to think that the ship used was an old retired carrier or cargo ship that was used as a German World War II interrogation ship. I think that the ship has a certain grace or beauty all her own, and she indeed was the star of the film. We see several shots of her both seemingly to operate herself as well as when the survivors approach. Either way, the ship works in the film. There are so many wonderful shots of the ship in the movie, inside and out, that I think I'll make a video using only shots of the ship. So my friends, I hope you enjoyed this little video on the ship used in the film Death Ship. These little details and opinions are just mine, and I know everyone's got their own opinion. So until my next video, my friends, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.